killer track. But every song's gotta end.
Yeah! Oh my god, yes! Like the best rock bands out there, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and quickly blew up. The game was released the same day it was announced. Despite the surprise release, especially a release very close to that of Sony-backed Forspoken, Hi-Fi Rush managed to overtake Forspoken in terms of revenue made on Steam. It's not hard to see why. Hi-Fi Rush won the hearts of the gaming public with its bombastic style and its unique take on Devil May Cry style gameplay. Hi-Fi Rush was developed by Tango Gameworks, most notable for The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What's a horror game studio doing making their own Bayonetta? Well, last year, Tango Gameworks founder Shinji Mikami told Famitsu that the studio was working on smaller, non-horror games. The veteran game developer said he doesn't want the studio to just be known for horror games. I can imagine that when Tango Gameworks set out to make a game similar to Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, what players call a character action game or a spectacle fighter, they didn't want it to just be Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. The genre has been around for decades, so they knew they needed to stand out. They went about this in an honestly brilliant way. They merged the character action genre with another genre that not only fits incredibly well, but brings out the best elements of the character action genre. Hi-Fi Rush stars aspiring rock star Chai, last name Latte, who ends up with a music player in his chest. Branded a defect, he must fight through an army of corporate drones and escape an island controlled by the biggest tech corp in the world. Along the way, he joins cute hacker lady to expose the company's dangerous secrets. There are two core mechanics: the character action gameplay and the rhythm action gameplay. Hi-Fi Rush is a character action game, a cross between a third-person platformer and a 2D brawler, where combat is based on stringing together combos of attacks. There's also an emphasis on characterization and spectacle, hence the secondary term of spectacle fighter. The game has character and it's got character. But Hi-Fi Rush is also a rhythm action game in that your success in the game depends on how well you can time actions such as button presses to the beat of the music. Both genres necessitate accuracy and grade you on your performance at the end. The two genres are made for each other. If you played a Devil May Cry or two in your time, you're likely familiar with the basics. You chain together light and heavy attacks in specific ways to get different combos that lead to even stronger attacks. Each combo has a purpose too, from dealing with one big hit against an enemy or hitting multiple enemies around you. You almost must dodge the clearly telegraphed attacks of enemies. Do this as stylishly as possible to get those sweet, sweet S ranks. That's the main mechanic that provides the backbone of Hi-Fi Rush. But remember that Chai has a dinky little MP3 player in his chest, which means that everything he sees moves to the beat of the music. And when I say everything, I mean everything. From the character animations and even the environments. Feeling the rhythm just as Chai does is essential to getting to the badass highs of the character action greats. Attacks on the beat do slightly more damage and increase the score and rhythm meter. Light attacks take 1 beat to execute, and heavy attacks take 2. Completing a combo to the beat also gives you a beat hit, which gives you an extra, stronger finishing move for a combo if you time the button just right. With character action games, there's always the risk of defaulting to the basic single button combo. It does the job well enough, and when you're bombarded with so much spectacle, it's easy to panic and just mash the light attack button instead of engaging with the intricate combos like the game wants you to. By tying every action to the beat of the music, the game encourages you to slow down and focus. Introducing a variety of combos feels much more natural. I'm able to better strategize which combos to break out in the moment. I especially appreciate how much easier it is to execute combos that require the player to pause for a moment, as you need to pause on the beat before attacking on the next one. Those kinds of combos always trip me up in other character action games. Not only do you attack on the beat, but enemies do too. That means you need to dodge on the beat too. Doing so lets you dodge up to 3 times and increases dodge distance. Enemies in character action games make most of their attacks very obvious, but the timing can still trip up players. Enemies attacking on the beat means that players can slow down and focus on dodging as well as attacking. At the same time, it makes it easier for enemies to hit you if your timing is off. Tying the 2 core gameplay styles together is the rhythm meter. By using a variety of combos, attacking to the beat, and landing beat hits will raise the meter from D to S. This raises the score multiplier. At the end of a fight, the game adds up your score, as well as bonuses from how on the beat your actions were and how quickly you ended the fight, and gives you a grade. At the end of the stage, each of your fights are tallied and your ranks are averaged to get an overall stage rank. For both character action games and rhythm action games, the ranks were always a key part of the satisfaction you get from the game. While low ranks risk discouraging the player, they can also encourage players to get better at the game. Players will not only feel like their skills are improving, but know their skills are improving because they can see their ranks on fights or songs go up with each one. I wish the American education system worked this way. All I get are reminders that all this work probably won't give me a job. For Hi-Fi Rush, getting higher ranks means that I'm getting better at nailing the core mechanic of moving to the rhythm. I am not only able to play by this game's interesting rules, but exceed its expectations. Every time you nail a perfect combo of attacks, it feels good because you know the game is celebrating your excellent play along with you. Now, it wouldn't be a spectacle fighter without spectacle, and this game oozes with it. Every animation is big and bold. Your strongest attacks are accompanied by huge, colorful explosions of dust and comic book automatopoeia. The game's style leaps from your screen, just like Into the Spider-Verse. This is a game that loves having fun, and you can't help but join in. The aesthetics technically count as fluff, but they actually count as secondary mechanics in my mind because nearly all of the animations move to the beat of the music. The world literally pulses with the rhythm. Simply looking around helps you get a sense of the beat. Though if you do need a little extra help, you can call in the Rhythm Assist, an extra UI element that shows the beat of the music. You also get visual and sound cues with each action done correctly to the beat of the music, making it crystal clear that you're doing a good job. The aesthetics also accentuate the cartoony and genuinely funny writing. Unlike with Forspoken, which married campy writing to a gritty, realistic setting, freaking dragons! The writing feels right at home with the visuals of Hi-Fi Rush. Another important secondary mechanic is exploration. In between fights, you need to traverse a variety of obstacles. In character action games, you usually have platforming sections to break up moments of action. There's also hidden upgrades and bonuses to reward clever players. If everything is action-packed, then nothing is, so these sections serve an important function in keeping the action fresh. The problem is that they don't really build off the main combat gameplay. It only really utilizes jumping and air dodging. The same can be said about the platforming in Hi-Fi Rush, except that its obstacles also move to the beat of the music. Timing your actions to the music carries over from the combat to the exploration, extending that core mechanic beyond combat. It's easy to hear that a game combines Devil May Cry with Guitar Hero and find it odd. Then you realize that the genres of both games involve getting players into a state of mind of being a rock star, with all the glitz and glamour that goes with it. Then you start wondering why the combo hasn't been done before. Tango Gameworks nailed the concept on their first try. It leverages the already rewarding rhythm action gameplay to accent the character action gameplay. It helps me improve as a player and drive me closer to the stylish heights of the genre's best players, just like Chai aspires to be a rock star. It gives a twist that not only makes it stand out from the best in the genre, but even exceed them in many areas. I can't give this game anything less than a standing ovation. That's looking more good. This game is something else. Well, there goes my security deposit. All right. Well done. That was incredible.